Yeah, okay. I thought this was a good opportunity to introduce this new NERC highlight topic, which is quite a large piece of funding that a group of us have received notice that we've got. The funding is approved. I still don't have a grant letter in my hand. There's a lot of investigators, and when I looked at this slide this morning, I thought I really should have put a lot of logos on there. So there's a number of groups at BAS working on this. Also, University of East Anglia, Durham University, Cardiff University, and Liverpool University. So I'll try and mention the contributions as I go through. So the overarching question of the project is how quickly ice will be lost from the marine-based parts of the West Antarctic ice sheets. So, I mean, this is a tricky problem because in the history of human civilization, nobody's ever sat and watched a marine-based ice sheet collapse. So there's a real problem with validation of ice sheet models for this process. And however good we think the model is, there's still a lot of uncertainty. So the primary focus is ice sheet, but I guess I don't have to really convince this audience that understanding the continental shelf oceanography is absolutely critical to this. The reason we've really focused on the Bellingshausen sector is that in this sector, most of the ice that existed when the ice sheet was at its maximum extent has actually gone. We're looking at, in a way, you can say we're looking at the aftermath of a marine-based ice sheet collapse. So we can actually go to the shelf and look at the history of retreat, and we can use long-term records to look at what drove that retreat and what the sensitivity of the ice was, how it responded. So also, there's also a tremendous opportunity to understand how warm water gets onto the shelf, what processes drive the warm water onto the shelf and up to the ice margin, because this area, particularly over recent years, has a lot less sea ice than the Amundsen Sea. Many of you probably know that there's some moorings been deployed in the Amundsen Sea and no ship has been able to get back to them to recover them. So these days in the Bellingshausen Sea, I don't think you're going to have that problem. So the project is organized into 4 work packages that looking at different aspects of the system, each one integrated with ocean and ice sheet modeling. The ocean modeling being done by Paul Holland and his co-workers at BAS, and the ice sheet modeling by Tony Payne and people at Liverpool. So the work packages are looking at different processes and over different time frames. The first one is the modern oceanographic processes, how mesoscale processes are getting warm water onto the shelf. And you can see from this graphic here, that's where there'll be sea gliders, there'll be floats, the AutoSub 5, and this will be led by Karen Hayward at UEA. Then a second work package, you'll be considering the effects of sea ice changes on the historical time frame and on over millennia. So it's a great place to look at sea ice, how sea ice changes have affected the ice sheet and the oceanography, because during the history of satellite recording, there's been actually continuous loss of sea ice, continuous decrease of sea ice in the Bellingshausen, in the contrary to Antarctica as a whole, which saw an increase till about 2014. And that's the point of the little photograph in the bottom corner there is there's also historical records going back 125 years to the Belgica expedition, where they were actually beset there for a whole year and using saws to try and cut the ship out of the ice. So that we know there has been long-term change. And then longer-term change over millennia, we can what we're going to do from sediment cores is use biomarkers to get indications of the sea ice change and also of the drivers of retreat. And then from the continental side, we'll have some indications of drivers of retreat from a deep ice core that's being drilled by another project onshore, the Rewind project. I'm probably running out of time here. So a big part, the third work package is the history of retreat and how sensitively the ice sheet responded to retreat. And a particular thing to look at is what were the fastest rates of retreat. And this is something we can look at with AUV mapping of the seafloor. Some of you may know about where in many places now, with really high resolution mapping you can do with AUVs, and particularly this swash swarm of small AUVs is what we plan to use. You can see features formed by tidal processes at grounding zones as they retreated. And you can see that you can analyze the tidal signal in these to get a very precise rate of retreat. So we hope to do some of that. And then the final section of the project is to look at what was the extreme of ice sheet retreat during the last interglacial. Did we have an ice sheet collapse and connection between ocean base between the Weddell Sea and the Bellingshausen and the Ross Sea? And for that, we're using two approaches. We're going to use genomics of benthic organisms. So similar to what was done with the octopus paper, some of you may know about. And we're also going to be shallow drilling to get subglacial bedrock to see the history of surface exposure of that bedrock. So that's the overall picture. Obviously, there's a lot of investigators involved, and obviously we'll be interested to talk to people who are doing related work. Thank you.